True Crime with a case update on Laequan Little. How's everybody doing tonight? So, those of you who are just now joining me, my name is Rebecca. This is my channel, Red True Crime. Here I talk about cases, celebrity and local and historical. I talk about all kinds of things. So, what we're talking about tonight is Laequan Little. He is a man who went missing on December 31st in Greensboro, North Carolina. And he was recently located inside a retention pond with his car on January 13th. There's been a lot of speculation as to how he ended up there, why it happened. And the family has been very, very forthright in saying that they feel foul play is involved. And they've been also very critical of Greensboro Police Department and how they've handled this investigation, which I don't blame them for being critical, because some criticism is necessary with the police force. So before I read their statement, GPD's statement, hit that subscribe button. Very easy, little button. You just hit it. Subscribe, share, comment, like, whatever you need to do. But it's all free. Doesn't cost anything. And the more you subscribe, the more you like, the more you share, the more the algorithm sends this message out to the world. Because if we have corruption with Greensboro PD, the world needs to know about it. Because we need to get the FBI, the State Bureau of Investigation, Justice Department, whoever needs to come down here and investigate these people and figure out what the heck's going on. So here is the statement from Greensboro PD. This is a devastating loss for the family and friends of Mr. Little, and we extend our appreciation for the assistance of public and private organizations who have supported the family during this difficult time. This remains an ongoing death investigation, and autopsy results are pending. The cause of death will determine how the investigation proceeds. We are treating the release of investigative information with extreme care. We recognize that questions have been raised, and we are working to answer them. My commitment to this community is that our department will be as transparent and as accountable as possible while maintaining the integrity of this investigation. As with tragic incidents involving a death, we will review our department's processes and resources to ensure we are serving local families in the most effective ways possible when they need us most. As an organization, we want to closely work with and learn from our community so we can continually improve the ways we serve them. Once additional information becomes available for release in the coming days, we will promptly share it with the community. So that is Greensboro Police Department's stance on Laequan Little. Hello. They're saying, hey, we're just investigating. We're not giving out any information. When we have information to give, you'll get it. That's what they're basically saying. Now, Laequan's mother had a whole other thing to say about this. And I can't blame her for having the stance on this that she has, because it's involved. I mean, her child went missing on December 31st, and because he dared go missing on a holiday, there was not a detective available to start investigating until after the holiday, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Now, let me find hers real quick. She put on a very, very long post on here, and it was very heartbreaking to see. It was like 9 paragraphs, but I'm not going to really go into all of that, I don't believe, because I think that's going to be overkill. But essentially what she did was, let's see, here we go. Yeah, what she did was basically break down, oh, hello, everybody that's joining, was break down what the police did and did not do. So if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe. This is what I do. I talk about crimes, local, international, historical, Hollywoodish. So definitely subscribe, because the more you subscribe, the more the channel gets out there to more people, share, and all that stuff. I know you did. But so I already read GPD's statement, basically saying we're investigating, there's questions, and we'll give you all information once we have it. This is Tamika Little. This is the mother of Laequan Little, and this is what she said. I'm not going to read everything word for word, so I'm going to just talk about it. What's happening? Okay, so I had a person question what's happening. So GPD put out a statement yesterday stating where they stand on Laequan Little's death. The family feels foul play is involved. The police department's like, we're investigating and we're waiting on autopsy results and blah, blah, blah. So we'll go there. But what they're not doing is they're not admitting their lack of investigation into the case at all. I mean, it was in here, Tamika Little, his Laquan's mother, she breaks it down, like what she went through dealing with Greensboro PD, trying to get them to look into the pond because there were tire tracks that led from the parking lot straight into the pond, but they refused to look in the pond. They kept saying it's too shallow. There's no way a car could fit in there or whatever. And that's exactly where he was in that pond for 13 days. So this is, I mean, she said some things about how he was a good person, had a good heart. And then she goes into the dealership where her son bought the car that was also in the pond with him. He had just bought that car. And she talks about how they would not tell her if there was a tracker on it. And then they said the tracker wasn't working. There was a few other things there. But this is where I find it interesting when she gets into the Greensboro. Yes, the car went into the pond. He was in the car, and yes, he drowned. His body was there for 13 days inside the pond. So here's what she says about Greensboro PD. Greensboro Police Department, 13 days, 13 days, 13 days. My son was missing. As I told you yesterday, you failed to do your job. You didn't do your job. Any information I received on my son's disappearance, I gave it to you. It went unnoticed. Detectives are supposed to investigate. They don't, and they didn't. They sat around waiting for the public, me, to give them information, and nothing was done. I am sorry. Okay. Then she says here, I investigated the whole 2 weeks. I collected information from people and forwarded it to the detective. All he kept saying was, give me the number of the person you got the info from. You want to sit on your butt and punch buttons instead of doing detective work. It saddens me to know that this type of world we're living in. If it was one of yours, you would have been on that case and stayed one nonstop, but I guess we are not the same. And then she talks about, she filed the report on December 31st. Officer told her that they were going to put a bolo, be on the lookout for him, and the case would be assigned to a detective. January 1st, she called and said she had not received a phone call. They told her that it's a holiday and detectives were off and someone would contact her on January 2nd. And she's like, are you serious? Like, you mean to tell me when there's a serious incident, when a mother knows her child, you take breaks in the case? I mean, that's valid. I don't understand how. I mean, I know people needs day off, but you don't send home the entire detective squad. I mean, you know? Um, so she, and this is a valid thing she says here. She said, I watch First 48 every day, and any episode where there's a holiday, those detectives are working. Why not GPD? A missing person should get treated as such, and it ticked her off. And I will say this, in a missing person case, the first 48 hours of any missing person case are the most critical. Because if you're going to find them alive, you're going to do that in the first 48 hours. After that, then the probability of finding someone alive decreases. So the fact that she was on them, I mean, granted, even if they had found him the day that she posted, she filed the report, he most likely would not have been alive because he was drowned. I mean, but I think it's more the fact that they didn't bother to look in the pond, and she was put through 13 days of not knowing where her son was. That's terrible. That is heartbreaking. That is unimaginably horrible. I mean, I could not even imagine if one of my kids went missing like that. Um, like my older sister disappeared for a couple years, and we didn't know where she was, and I don't know how my mother dealt with that. I mean, she was an adult. She had a drug problem, but um, I don't know how my mom did it, to be honest with you. So, I mean, and she goes on into her statement talking about how January 1st, she and some people were out in the woods searching, looking for him. Detective called her and said, "Why are you searching? People are complaining that you're bothering people." You know what? No. People, if someone's missing, you're gonna bother some people. It is what it is. And then they talk about how the tracks, the pond didn't look like car tracks; they look like golf cart tracks. My thing is the way that pond, like it's a very deep like hill going in. So there's no way that if a golf cart went down there, because the golf tracks go all the way down to the water, that they were going to be able to back that cart up. So if if it was a golf cart, I'd still look to see make sure there's not somebody in there because people fall in water, it gets cold, they die, it's a whole thing. They never looked. They kept saying that the pond was only 4 feet deep. Turns out it's like 7 feet deep. Just so many things they just didn't do. Now, the family is very strongly about saying that this is foul play. I don't know how they can say that right now because the autopsy isn't bad. The toxicology report is not bad. The night he went missing, when he was leaving his friend's house, he was at a friend's apartment partying, having a good time. They said they didn't want him to leave because he was intoxicated. Now, it's a very good possibility that because he was intoxicated, he got in the car. It was like 3 in the morning. It was late. He was drunk. It was dark. It was cold. It was all these things. He could have gotten turned around and ended up in the pond. I mean, that very easily could have happened. Now, why the family is so hardcore set on foul play, I don't know because I've talked about him before on here. He's got an extensive, complicated background with the law, and he was currently being investigated or being prosecuted for some things. But she has always put out there he didn't bother nobody. He was good to everybody. He kept to himself, all that stuff. And one does not equate the other. Because here's my thing: if he was if he was this person that everybody loved and adored and all this other stuff, then why would you think his friends killed him? That's all I want to know. Why would you go there? I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I just thought it was odd. Um, Now the family did apparently pay for one of his friends to take a lie detector test with somebody, and this guy failed it. But I don't understand what the point of that is because lie detector tests are not admissible in court. So all you're really doing is making this guy look bad in the court of public opinion. So I don't know. Hi, Bearcat. I'm not sure what language you're speaking in, but I cannot read that. But I don't know. Like I said, the whole thing is messed up. The whole thing is very messed up. But I think assuming accident or foul play is very premature at this point, simply because without the toxicology, without the autopsy, you can't make a declaration like that. And that's what they're waiting on. The police are waiting on these reports to come back so they know how to investigate or if they need to investigate. Like when my husband died, this whole thing, I actually requested his autopsy report. I never did see it. And I got it the other day and I was reading it. And when he died, he was in a car accident. He had a seizure, ran the car into a tree. And that is what happened to my late husband. When we got to the hospital, the ER doctor explained to me that when he hit that tree, he didn't have a seatbelt on, and that my husband's body hit the steering wheel, dissected as I ordered, and he died instantly. But then, because of the crash, he hit the steering wheel and then was flung to the other side of the car. But when I read the autopsy report, the EMTs, when they reported their findings to the coroner, they said that when they opened the car, he was still in the driver's seat. So he didn't get thrown. So, it's simple. It's just little things like that because here all this time I've been under the impression that he was thrown across the car and here he never left the driver's seat. So I am curious to see what this autopsy report will throw out there because it can go one way or the other, accident or foul play. He was intoxicated, and they're saying he was intoxicated. That would make sense, possibly the accident. But if they do a toxicology report, which they will, and that shows up illegal substances, that's a whole other different story. Like, did he take those on his own, which caused the accident, or could he have been drugged and that caused the accident? So I don't know. But I think jumping into foul play is a little premature. I mean, and that's my opinion. Like I said, the family can have whatever opinion they want because that's their business. And yeah, that's their right to have whatever opinion they want because they know all the players in this whole thing. So if they think it's foul play, then possibly it is. So I don't know. But that is all I have to say on this at the moment because until we get more information back, everything out at this point is all speculation. Hi, Bearcat. It's all speculation. All of it is. So, like I said, I feel for the family. I think they have every right to be upset and angry and wanting to hear their voice, have their voices heard. I get all that. And I think GPD needs to be investigated. I think they need a thorough investigation to see that the department's being run right. Oh, the TK Burton case. Oh, goodness. From what I understand, I was talking to somebody the other day. They are looking for more people to be involved in that case. They have 4 that have been arrested and charged. 2 are still in Randolph County Jail. The other 2 have bonded out and are out there on like ankle monitors. But from what I understand, there's like 1 or 2 more that they're looking for that very well could be involved. As to motive, that nobody really knows why. I mean, jealousy seems to be the most common one that comes up, but I don't know. Like I said, we're still waiting to hear more about these other people that they're looking for. Oh goodness. So GPD, Greensboro PD, is actually doing some community engagement where the cops are going to be having these little info sessions and the citizens can come in and ask questions and talk. I'm going to go to one of these info sessions. I'm going to try and film it if I can. I'm going to take all the missing people flyers that I have for the area and I'm going to say, hey, where are these people? Where are these people? Do more. Because you cannot sit there and say you're under budget, you're understaffed, you're under all this crap and do nothing. I mean, I'm sorry. You need somebody investigating all the time. That's just usually how this works. And I was saying, because Greensboro is not that big, High Point is even smaller. Jamestown's smaller than High Point. Guilford County is a good sized county, but you got a lot of small little cities all within the county. And my thing is, how about we just combine all the police forces from everywhere? Like take High Point, take Jamestown, take Greensboro, take Summerfield, take them all. Just throw them all together and make them one police force and just call it Guilford County Police. Just there you go. Because I think if you do that, if you added all these people together and you added all these divisions together, make it much bigger, then you got people that are literally like investigating everywhere and you don't have so much nonsense. So, but that's my thought on that one. But I will be attending one of these sessions and I will be yelling up a storm and with flyers. I may get arrested. It might be interesting. You never know. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go because this is all I got for tonight. So this is Rebecca with Retro Crime. Please, please, please subscribe and share and like and comment and all the other stuff that you guys can do because it's all free and it doesn't cost anything and it helps the algorithm and whatnot and gets the word and the information out there. So please do that and share it with your friends. Tell them all. I'm on here all the time. But this is Rebecca of Retro Crime. I'm out. Be weird, be rude, be safe. Because as I say, if you're weird and rude, they will not take you. I guarantee. So have a good night, y'all. Bye.